The stars glimmered like scattered jewels as the human ship Endeavour approached the Mari system. Captain Elias stood on the bridge, eyes fixed on the swirling colors of the uncharted planet below. It was unlike anything humanity had explored before, a world alive with vibrant forests, towering crystal-like structures, and oceans that shimmered in shades of blue and green that no human eye had seen before. Beside him, Lieutenant Mara whispered, "Captain, sensors show intelligent life, something big, very advanced." Elias nodded slowly. "Then we approach carefully. Humans have a way of making friends, or at least avoiding mistakes that get you killed." The ship descended through the planet's atmosphere. As it neared the surface, enormous shapes moved in the forests, creatures taller than any human, with shimmering scales and gliding wings. Birds or aliens? Elias could not tell yet. The human's craft touched down on a smooth plateau surrounded by strange, glowing trees. Moments later, the first aliens appeared. They moved with grace, their tall, lithe bodies glinting under the alien sun. Their eyes, large and curious, studied the humans. They wore elaborate garments, flowing and shimmering like liquid metal. At the front of the group, a young female figure stepped forward. Her presence was commanding, yet gentle. This was the alien princess, heir to the Mari Empire. She spoke in a musical language that the ship's translator could barely keep up with, but her meaning came across clearly. "I am Princess Lyria of Mari," she said, her voice calm but strong. "You are visitors. State your purpose." Elias stepped forward, hands open in a gesture of peace. "I am Captain Elias of the human ship Endeavour. We come in peace. We wish to learn, explore, and share knowledge. Nothing more." The princess studied him for a long moment. She seemed to consider his words carefully, as if measuring his mind. Then she nodded slightly. "You may follow me," she said. "But all that you do will be watched." As Elias and his small crew walked beside the princess, the alien landscape unfolded like a living dream. Towering flowers released streams of glowing pollen. Rivers carved through crystal valleys. Birds, or something like them, swooped through the air, their wings reflecting sunlight like diamonds. The humans moved cautiously, knowing that every step would be noticed and judged. Princess Lyria spoke softly to her aides, words the humans could not understand. "Strange, but promising," she whispered, glancing at Elias. Her eyes held curiosity. She had seen many species, but humans were different. Elias noticed a strange device embedded in the ground, a kind of energy interface that seemed to hum with power. One of the princess's aides had been struggling to operate it. He stepped forward instinctively, studying the device. His fingers moved over its alien controls, and within moments, the hum changed to a steady, calm pulse. Lights danced across, the interface responding perfectly to his touch. The princess froze. Her eyes widened. She had never seen a being adapt so quickly to something so alien. "You understand it," she murmured, more to herself than anyone else. Elias straightened. "I can learn fast. Humans have a way of seeing patterns others miss." The aide looked embarrassed, bowing slightly. I have been working on this for years. You humans." Elias smiled gently. "I only want to help. That is all." Princess Lyria studied him with a mix of awe and caution. She turned to her aide. "Leave him. Let him continue. Perhaps he is not as simple as he seems." Elias felt the weight of her gaze. There was respect there, though guarded. For the first time in this new world, he sensed a bridge forming between species, one that could grow if handled with care. As the humans and princess moved deeper into the alien city, the structures revealed themselves, towering spires of glass and crystal connected by bridges of light. Hovering vehicles moved silently between them. The city was alive, but it carried an air of discipline, order, and ancient tradition. The princess spoke again, this time through the translator. "We have many rules, many tests. You will need to prove yourself before trust is given. Elias nodded. We expected no less. Humanity has never been afraid of learning. That evening, as the twin moons rose over the city, Elias was escorted to a guest chamber that overlooked a glowing courtyard. He watched as alien citizens moved below, their lives intertwined with technology in ways he had never imagined. Princess Lyria appeared at the doorway, standing in the soft light. You will not be alone in this world, she said quietly. But you must understand, trust is not given freely among the Mari. You will need to earn it, and your presence here, it may change things. Elias smiled. Then I will do my best. Humanity has always found ways to adapt, and sometimes to surprise. She studied him for a long moment, her expression unreadable. Then she turned and disappeared into the shadows of the corridor. Alone, Elias thought about the journey ahead. He knew humans had faced impossible challenges before, and yet they always found a way forward. The Mari Empire was a test unlike any he had faced, but the spark of curiosity in the princess suggested there was hope. And deep in her private chambers, Princess Lyria whispered to herself, words no human could hear. Strange, yet promising. This human, he may change everything. The stars outside shimmered, silent witnesses to the first encounter between humanity and the Mari Empire, a meeting that would ripple through the galaxy in ways no one could yet imagine. The next day, the human delegation was escorted deeper into the heart of the Mari Empire. The streets sparkled under the alien sun, and citizens paused to look at the humans, whispering among themselves. Their leader, Captain Elias, moved with calm confidence, observing everything around him. Every gesture, every glance he measured carefully. Humans had a way of staying unafraid, even in strange worlds, and the Mari could sense it. Word of Elias's arrival had already reached the throne room. High above the city, the alien queen sat on a massive crystalline throne. Her presence, alone, commanded silence. Her eyes, sharp and piercing, seemed to see everything. She had ruled the Mari Empire for centuries, her intelligence unmatched. To her, the humans were merely a curiosity, a small, primitive species that had somehow traveled to her system. Bring them forward, she commanded. Her voice carried the weight of authority. Even the strongest of her advisors flinched slightly. Princess Lyria escorted Elias and his crew into the throne room. The ceiling soared above them like the sky itself, decorated with glowing patterns that shifted and shimmered. The humans felt small, dwarfed by the sheer scale and majesty of the space. Elias bowed slightly as a gesture of respect he had learned from observing alien etiquette. Your Majesty, he said, his voice steady, we come in peace. We wish to understand your people and share knowledge. The queen regarded him silently for several long seconds. Then, she leaned forward, her eyes narrowing. Peace, she said slowly. Humans speak of peace, yet you venture into a system not your own. Why should I believe your words? Elias smiled gently. Because actions matter more than words. Watch, and you will see that we mean no harm. The queen's lips pressed together. She had seen many civilizations rise and fall. None had impressed her, but something about this human, his calm, his confidence, his willingness to adapt so quickly, made her uneasy. One of the Mari engineers approached, carrying a device that had puzzled even the queen's most skilled minds. It was an ancient interface, said to control energy flows throughout the city. The engineer explained that it had not worked properly for decades. Elias stepped forward without hesitation. His hands moved over the controls, studying the patterns and the strange symbols. Within moments, the device responded to him. Lights glowed, circuits hummed, and the energy began to flow smoothly. The queen's eyes widened and she whispered under her breath, "Impossible." Her advisors stiffened. The word carried weight. The queen rarely spoke aloud what she could not believe. And yet here it was, a human, a simple creature, mastering something her empire had considered unsolvable for centuries. Princess Lyria's eyes met her mother's. She had felt the same astonishment earlier, but seeing it now in the queen herself was remarkable. "Mother," the princess said carefully, "this human, he may be different. He understands in ways we did not expect." The queen did not answer immediately. Instead, she leaned back, studying Elias like a scientist observing an experiment. "Different," she murmured. "Perhaps, but humans are unpredictable. They may be clever, but they are also fragile." Elias noticed the tension but remained calm. He had faced doubt and fear before, and he had learned that patience often spoke louder than words. "I only wish to help," he said quietly. "There is much we can learn from each other." The princess stepped closer to Elias, defending him without hesitation. "He has already helped us. The device flows because of him. You cannot deny his ability." The queen's gaze softened slightly, though her expression remained unreadable. "I cannot deny it," she said. "But ability alone does not command trust. You must prove yourselves human, and your presence here, it will change many things." Elias nodded, understanding the challenge. "We expect nothing less. Humanity does not fear tests." The queen rose from her throne, her long robes gliding over the crystalline floor. "Then you shall face them. Your actions will decide your place in our empire, or your exit from it," the princess whispered to Elias as they left the throne room. "Do not be afraid. My mother is cautious, but—" The next morning, Captain Elias and his crew awoke to the soft glow of the Mari sun filtering through the crystalline windows of their quarters. Outside, the palace courtyards were alive with activity. Citizens moved in graceful patterns, floating, platforms gliding silently beneath their feet, while elegant structures shifted subtly as if breathing with life. Princess Lyria appeared at the doorway, her presence calm and commanding. "Today, you will face the first of our tests," she said. "The Queen wishes to see how humans handle our culture and our traditions. Many fail, few succeed. You may succeed if you understand more than your eyes can see." Elias nodded. "We will do our best. Humanity has always faced challenges, and we learn quickly." The princess smiled faintly. "Good. Then follow me." They walked through hallways that twisted like living vines, their walls glowing with energy. The first test was simple in appearance but complex in execution. The humans were presented with an array of alien artifacts, mechanical puzzles, energy conduits, and ancient symbols that shifted and changed unpredictably. Each was designed to test intelligence, observation, and patience. Elias studied the devices carefully. Unlike the Mari engineers who relied heavily on memory and formula, he approached each puzzle by noticing patterns and relationships. Within minutes, the first artifact responded to his touch. The second followed. The Mari court looked on, astonished. Princess Lyria's eyes sparkled with surprise. "Humans, you do not approach like we expect. You see connections that are hidden to us. That is rare." One of the palace advisors whispered to the queen, who had observed from a balcony above. "Mother, he solves them too quickly, too easily." The queen's lips pressed into a thin line. "Observe closely. Humans may succeed in small matters, but the heart of the empire is not solved by puzzles alone." The next test was far more demanding. Elias and his crew were led into the Hall of Decisions, a vast room where holographic simulations of the empire's trade, diplomacy, and security were displayed. They were presented with crises: a failing energy grid, a civil dispute between alien provinces, and rumors of a rival species planning an incursion. Each situation required a solution that balanced ethics, efficiency, and understanding of Mari. Culture. Elias studied the holograms carefully. "Humans think in layers," he explained quietly to his crew. "We look at consequences, not just solutions. Watch for patterns in behavior, not just the problem itself. Using a combination, Of logic, empathy, and creativity, Elias proposed solutions that surprised even the Mari observers. The energy grid was stabilized, disputes were mediated peacefully, and the rival incursion was deterred through strategic negotiation. Princess Lyria approached him quietly. "Your thinking, it is unlike any alien mind I have known. You see, more than the obvious. You predict, you adapt. Humans are truly strange." Elias smiled. Strange is one word for it. But humans survive by understanding, not by following rules blindly. That is why we are here, to learn and to share what we can. The queen watched from above, her expression unreadable. She whispered to herself, "Impossible." Yet he succeeds. No human should do this. Advisors around her murmured in worry. "Mother, if he continues to succeed, he may influence the empire itself. That is dangerous." The queen did not answer immediately. She had never encountered a human capable of this level of insight. Dangerous, perhaps, but also necessary to understand. Watch him more closely. The final test of the day involved diplomacy. The humans were asked to mediate a ceremonial disagreement between two prominent alien houses. Both sides were proud, stubborn, and deeply rooted in tradition. Many Mari diplomats would have failed, escalating the conflict to a point of humiliation for the weaker side. Elias listened carefully to both parties. He asked questions, observed gestures, and even used humor in subtle ways to ease tension. Slowly, he guided the discussion toward compromise. The alien nobles, initially skeptical, began to nod, impressed by the humans' patience and perception. By the end of the session, the dispute was resolved, and both sides agreed to the proposed solution, with respect rather than resentment. Princess Lyria clapped softly, a smile playing on her lips. You understand more than I expected. Not just the machines, but the people. That is what makes you remarkable." The queen remained silent, her gaze fixed on Elias. She had observed everything. Humans were clever, yes. Resilient, yes. But this understanding of both machine and mind was unprecedented. She could no longer dismiss them as primitive. That evening, Elias and his crew returned to their quarters, weary but satisfied. They had passed the tests, but they knew the queen's approval was not given lightly. The princess joined them once more. "Your mind? It is unusual among your kind," she said softly. "The queen may yet oppose you, but I see what you can do. I see potential that even she cannot ignore." Elias looked out at the glowing city below. Potential is only useful if it is applied. Humans do not fear challenges, they rise to meet them. That is why we survive. That is why we will work with you, not against you. Princess Lyria studied him silently, her curiosity deepening. Perhaps humans are more than I imagined. And perhaps this is only the beginning. Somewhere, deep in the throne room, the queen whispered again, barely audible. Impossible, yet undeniable. This human, he may change the empire. He may change everything. The stars outside shimmered, reflecting in the crystal towers of the Mari city. For the first time, it seemed the humans had begun not just to survive, but to leave their mark. And even the most powerful alien ruler could not ignore them. Days passed in the Mari capital, and the humans continued to learn. Captain Elias adapted quickly to alien technology, culture, and even customs. Princess Lyria guided him, quietly teaching him the unspoken rules of her people. Yet, despite their growing understanding, danger was brewing beyond the crystal towers. Late, one evening, the palace sensors detected unusual activity in the outer systems. A rival alien empire, known for its aggression and cunning, had entered the Mari system. Their fleet moved with precision, cloaked by advanced stealth technology, and they carried weapons that could devastate entire cities. The Mari Council convened in a panic. "We did not detect them sooner," one advisor said. "They could strike at any moment." Princess Lyria turned to Elias. You must help. Humans have a way of seeing threats that we do not always notice. Elias studied the sensor readings. They are fast, precise, and careful. But they are predictable if we think differently. Let me try something. The council looked skeptical, but the queen remained silent, observing him with narrowed eyes. The humans had already proven their ingenuity, but now they would be tested in the harshest way possible. War. Elias moved quickly. Using a combination of human tactics and alien technology, he mapped the enemy fleet's likely approach. He suggested using decoy drones, redirecting energy flows, and creating false signals to confuse the attackers. The Mari generals hesitated. "This is unorthodox," one said. "No Mari has attempted such improvisation. It may fail." Elias shook his head. "If you follow the rules exactly, you will be too slow. Humans adapt, we act quickly, and we think ahead. This is the only chance to protect the Empire." Princess Lyria stepped forward, her eyes shining. "Mother, he is right. Let him try. Trust him, at least for this moment." The queen's gaze shifted to her daughter. She could see the conviction in Lyria's eyes and the calm confidence in Elias. Slowly, she nodded. "Very well. Proceed." The humans and Mari engineers worked side by side, implementing Elias's strategy. Drones were deployed to create false targets. Energy flows in the city were redirected to hide key installations. Defensive shields were strengthened in unconventional ways, using patterns Elias had devised in moments of observation. As the enemy fleet approached, the humans and Mari waited with bated breath. Then the first attack came. Energy blasts lit the skies, but many missed their marks, guided away by the decoys. The fleet advanced further, expecting chaos, but found the city organized, defended, and prepared in ways they had not anticipated. Elias directed the operation, his calm voice cutting through the panic. "Now, redirect power to the shields at sectors 3 and 7. The drones will lure them into the trap." Princess Lyria stayed at his side, monitoring communications. "You move like a Mari general," she whispered, though her tone carried admiration. "Yet your thinking, it is uniquely human." Elias nodded. "Humans survive because we do not rely solely on tradition. We adapt, we improvise, and we learn quickly. That is why we are here, and why we succeed." The enemy fleet faltered, confused by the unexpected tactics. Their stealth systems failed against the clever manipulation of energy and drones. One by one, their ships were forced to retreat or risk total destruction. By the time the battle ended, the Mari city remained intact, its towers glowing in victory under the twin moons. The council erupted in cheers. Mari soldiers and engineers looked at Elias with newfound respect. Even the queen, who had watched silently, allowed herself a moment of astonishment. You have done what no Mari strategist could," she murmured. "Impossible, yet true. This human, he may be more than a visitor. He may be essential and quick thinking. That is Sir, even among the morning after the battle, the Mari palace was alive with a sense of cautious celebration. Word of the human's strategy and quick thinking had spread quickly through the city. Citizens whispered in amazement about how Captain Elias and his crew had defended the Empire without using overwhelming force, relying instead on intelligence, observation, and creativity. Princess Lyria led Elias through the palace corridors. "Your actions yesterday, they have left a mark," she said softly. "Even the queen cannot deny your skill. But trust? That is harder to earn." Elias nodded. "I understand. Humans do not expect immediate trust. We earn it through our actions and intentions. That is how we survive, and how we help others survive as well." The princess paused, looking at him with admiration. "You see things differently. You adapt, you anticipate, and you understand, and more than most aliens do. Perhaps this is why you survived yesterday." Elias smiled humbly. "It is not survival alone. It is cooperation. We succeed when we work together, not when we act alone. Later that day, the Queen summoned Elias to the throne room. The hall was quiet, the air tense. The Mari Council and several nobles watched from balconies above, curious about what their ruler intended. "You have proven remarkable," the Queen said, her voice measured but firm. "Humans are strange, unpredictable creatures. Yet you have shown intelligence, adaptability, and courage beyond what I expected. I acknowledge your worth." Elias bowed respectfully. "Thank you, Your Majesty. We wish to serve as allies, not conquerors. Humanity believes in learning and sharing, not in destroying what we do not understand." The Queen's eyes softened, though her posture remained regal. "Your philosophy, it is foreign yet effective. The galaxy changes, and perhaps your species is part of that change. The Mari Empire may benefit from your presence, if your intentions remain true." Princess Lyria stepped forward, her voice steady. "Mother, Elias has already demonstrated that humans can think in ways we cannot. Their ideas, their strategies, their understanding, they can strengthen Mari and protect our people. Together, we can face challenges that neither of our species could overcome alone." The Queen studied her daughter, then Elias, and finally the room full of advisors. "Very well," she said. "Humans will be accepted. Cautiously. Their actions must continue to prove themselves. But this alliance may shape the future of the Empire. Let it begin." Elias exhaled quietly, relief and pride mixing in his chest. "Thank you, Your Majesty. We will honor this trust." Princess Lyria took his hand gently, a small gesture of reassurance. "You have done more than impress me. You have earned a place in our hearts and our city. But remember, the galaxy is wide and challenges are coming. This victory is only the beginning." That evening, the palace hosted a formal assembly to mark the new alliance. Humans and Mari leaders spoke openly, discussing ways to integrate strategies, technology, and cultural understanding. While the humans were respected, some conservative Mari nobles expressed concern. They feared change and distrusted the outsiders. Elias addressed them calmly. "Change is always difficult, especially when it challenges tradition. But survival, progress, and peace are worth adapting for. Humans have thrived because we do not fear the unknown. Together we can learn from each other, and together we can face the galaxy's challenges." The audience listened in silence, many nodding slowly as they began to understand the depth of his message. Even skeptics could not deny the humans' capability and foresight. Princess Lyria spoke next, her voice carrying authority and hope. "Mari has always valued strength, intelligence, and courage. These humans embody all three. Captain Elias and his crew have earned our respect and protection. And perhaps they can teach us things we have never imagined." The Queen, observing from her throne, whispered quietly to herself, "Impossible, yet undeniable. This human, he has changed the course of my empire's history. Perhaps he is the key to a new future." Later, in the palace gardens, Elias and the princess walked among glowing plants and softly humming crystals. The city below sparkled in the evening light. "Your people," Lyria said quietly, "have done something remarkable. You arrived as strangers, yet already you have reshaped perceptions, tactics, and trust. Humans, you are different." Elias looked at her, thoughtful. "Perhaps difference is not a weakness. Humanity survives because we adapt, because we act with intelligence, because we value cooperation. That is how we thrive. And that is how we hope to help Mari." Lyria smiled faintly. "You have shown that humans can achieve what many believe impossible. My people will remember this, and the Empire may never be the same, but I wonder, what else could your species accomplish in our galaxy?" Elias's eyes glimmered with quiet determination. "If we are willing to work together, if we respect each other's strengths, then I believe we can accomplish far more than anyone imagines. The galaxy is vast, and survival is not enough. Humans aim to thrive, and perhaps we can help Mari thrive as well. In the throne room, the Queen observed silently, no longer whispering disbelief, but contemplating hope. The humans had proven themselves in ways no one expected, and the princess, speaking openly of cooperation, had begun a vision of unity between species that could transform the empire. The stars outside the palace windows twinkled like distant beacons of possibility. Humanity had arrived in the Mari system not as conquerors, but as allies, thinkers, and strategists. The galaxy had taken notice, and even the most powerful alien rulers could not dismiss them. Princess Lyria whispered to Elias as they walked, "Through the palace gardens, you have changed many minds today, and perhaps together we can change the galaxy." Elias smiled, a quiet sense of purpose settling in him. "Then we continue. One step at a time, one challenge at a time. Humans and Mari, together." And somewhere high above, the Queen, watching silently, allowed herself a thought she had never considered before. Humans might not only survive the galaxy, they might shape it. The alliance was forged. The galaxy would never see humans the same way again. The day dawned bright over the Mari capital, painting the crystal towers in shades of gold and green. The streets were alive with movement, but this was no ordinary day. Today, humanity would be formally welcomed into the Mari Empire, not as strangers, not as visitors, but as allies. Captain Elias stood beside Princess Lyria in the palace courtyard. Citizens of the empire gathered, tall and elegant, their eyes wide with curiosity and cautious excitement. Many whispered about the humans' deeds, how they had solved ancient puzzles, mediated disputes, and most impressively defended the HFY city from a rival attack using clever strategy rather than brute force. The Queen emerged from the throne room, her presence commanding silence. Every eye turned to her, yet she did not speak immediately. She surveyed the humans, then looked at Elias with an expression that had softened over the days, an expression of recognition and respect. "Humans," she said finally, her voice echoing across the courtyard. "You arrived in our empire unannounced. Your species is strange, unpredictable, and unlike any we have encountered. Yet your actions have shown intelligence, courage, and adaptability beyond our expectations." She paused, letting her words settle over the assembly. "Captain Elias, and those who serve with him, you have proven yourselves not only capable, but invaluable. For this, the Mari Empire welcomes you as allies. You may share knowledge, work alongside us, and help shape the future of our people." A murmur of surprise and approval spread through the crowd. Princess Lyria's eyes sparkled with satisfaction. "Together," she said softly, "humans and Mari can achieve what neither could alone." Elias bowed respectfully. "Thank you, Your Majesty. Humans do not seek domination. We wish to learn, to cooperate, and to share what we can. Together, we can face challenges the galaxy may send our way." The Queen inclined her head. "Then let this day mark a new era, an era of unity, understanding, and shared strength. Humans will be remembered not as visitors, but as partners." As the formal ceremony concluded, citizens approached Elias and his crew. Many were curious, some skeptical, but most wanted to witness the humans who had achieved the impossible. Children pointed at Elias in awe, whispering to each other about how a human had saved their city. Adults asked questions about Earth, about human life, and about the strange ways humans solved problems. Princess Lyria guided Elias to a quieter part of the palace gardens, away from the crowd. "You have done more than impress the Queen," she said. "You have changed her perception, and perhaps the perception of all Mari citizens. Your people may leave a lasting mark here." Elias looked at the glowing plants and softly humming crystals. "We did not come to impress. We came to understand and to help. Humans survive by learning and by cooperating. That is how we thrive. Perhaps that is what they needed to see." Lyria smiled faintly. "They have seen it, and they will not forget it." The two of them walked in silence for a moment, watching the twin moons rise over the crystal city. It was quiet yet filled with possibility. Later in the throne room, the queen summoned Elias one final time. She was alone, sitting on her crystalline throne, her expression unreadable. Elias approached carefully, bowing. "You have exceeded every expectation," the queen said. "I whispered, 'Impossible,' when I first saw you. I feared no human could achieve what you did. Yet here you suspected. You have,